Legionnaires of the Lariat, we are back for another predictions showcase. This time it's for AEW's All in Wembley Stadium.
All in!
It's all in. I am your more attractive host, Mr. Showtime Michael Wright. With me, as always, is my tag team partner, stevezapf. Stevezapf, how we doing, bud?
Man, I feel like I've been waiting for this show since last year.
Yeah, if the build has felt that way. Actually, for this show, I think they've done a pretty good job building some feuds over a longer time frame than they normally do. I feel like a lot of times we get these where it's a match of the week or there's a pay-per-view coming, so let's quickly throw something together. There's been quite a few of these ones that have been building for a while. They've done a really good job with the MJF Will Ospreay feud. Strickland and Danielson's been kind of building for a bit, and I like how they got there. Obviously, Tony Storm, Mariah May was a great one. Probably the best build so far is Jericho versus Hook.
You just had to start already. You had to start with it. You had to start already.
Listen, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn this one, branch after branch after branch, Stephen.
I hate you so much.
We don't usually do this, but I'm going to kick off this one with a pre-show predictor. We won't count this towards our totals like we usually do, but maybe use it as a tiebreaker. There is so many matches that maybe a tie is in our future, and I want to make sure if there's a tiebreaker, Steven still doesn't beat me, so that still doesn't count. So the first match is Chris Statlander, Stokely Holloway versus Willow Nightingale and Tomoshiro Ishii?
Tomohiro Ishii. It's literally how you say Ishii.
Sorry.
Ishii.
Apologies. Steven, who do you got for the prelims?
I'm gonna go Willow.
States institutions. The term prelims is used.
Oh, sorry.
That is not the answer.
That was serious listening. Obviously, you guys know that all your devices are listening to at all times. That's just proof of it. You got Willow for this one, huh?
I do have Willow.
I love it when we kick off this with this differently. I thought I might have talked you out of Willow when we were talking earlier. I'm gonna take Chris Statlander and Stokely here. They've been building this feud. I think it's a really, really good one that they've gone with. But last time that they've had a tag team match, Willow went over. And I don't think he's going to keep having to win in that way. I think it's Statlander's time to win this one. She did just win the qualifier, or whatever they call it, to get the triple
the eliminator.
Eliminator, that's what it is. It's such a stupid concept, but hey, here we are. So I'm going to take Statlander. You can take Willow all you want, because I think that the heels get over. Because honestly, I don't think Willow's going to drop that title later on. So I think we're going to see them winning the tag team title this time around rather than that. Now, this next match. So these ones are the actual predictions that matter. But the first match we're going to get into is the Casino Gauntlet. Before you tell me who's going to win, Steven, let's talk about who do you think is going to be in this match at all? Because we only know one person at this point in time, which is Orange Cassidy. So outside of Orange Cassidy,
two people. Hangman Page is in it as well. 3 people because Evil Uno is in it as well.
They'll have it tonight.
Hangman Page said he's definitely in it, and he attacked Evil Uno when Evil Uno said that he was going to be in it. So as of Dynamite on 8/21, they were going to have Evil Uno in it, and then Hangman beat him to all hell with a chair. So who knows if that is still true. Outside of that, I have no idea who's going to be in this.
How many people are going to be in it?
So I need to look at the rules of this match. That's the problem with these gauntlets is I don't think they really establish the true rules of this match. I think if you get a certain number of wins, as far as beating a certain number of people, no matter what, you win, hands down. So, because that's what happened with Ospreay, and that's how he got his match against Swerve. And that's why Roderick Strong was never actually involved in that one gauntlet that he said he was supposed to be in. because Will Ospreay got so many pins that they were able to say, hey, he's the overall winner. So I think that's part of it. Again, these gauntlets haven't been super explained, and I'm hoping that we'll see more of it. I do hope that we see everybody that's supposed to be in it. If you're going to have this huge pay-per-view in front of now it looks like 50,000 people, I definitely think that you should have as many of these people as you can, especially if there's going to be a few new signings. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
I want to see Ricochet. I want to see Ricochet in this match more than anything else. But like you're right, I want to see Moxley in this. I want to see maybe some people we haven't seen in a while join this match. There's a bunch of talent in AEW that really have kind of seem to have fallen into the shadows. This would be a cool moment to bring them back to the forefront, maybe kick off some things. I don't know if Joe's still hurt, or
I don't know. He went through the wall.
I know, fourth wall. That'll put you out for a minute. But the Gauntlet may be able to bring him back. That would be a cool reintroduction of him here. So I would like to see some of those things. So Steven, I know who you want to pick. I know you can go the easy route here. Pick someone you know is going to be in it. And so other than Orange Cassidy, who do you think is going to win this?
Hangman Adam Page. Honestly, it just. I don't want it to be. I would love to say that it's going to be one of the surprise entrants. I'd love to say that it's going to be Konosuke Takeshita. It's not going to be Takeshita, though.
That means he'd have to wrestle him.
Yeah, he'd have to win at a major pay-per-view, and we're not doing that.
At this point in time, like when was the last time we'd seen like actually do something? Like when was the last? Like was it the ladder match where he really had his last match?
The TNT ladder match I think was the last time, and then just before that was when he had the IWGP title match against Moxley.
Yeah,
or the eliminator match. It wasn't even a title match; it was an eliminator match, and one arm Moxley won.
I would like to see him
because
do something.
he knows Death Jitsu.
Obviously, because I would love to see him. That's a perfect person for this. So you got Hangman. I got a question for you. Let's see how we can get this. I want to choose a mystery of someone who I don't know is in the match. Now, can I revert this pick if they don't join this match? If they're in, I'm in.
Yeah, why not?
I'm going with Shed.
You want to pick a second one just in case he's not there?
Yeah, I'll go Page with it. Because you're probably right. You're probably even right.
If Ricochet's there.
If he's there. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that Ricochet leaving WWE was such a big deal. It was like I feel like people became bigger fans of him because of him leaving and being mishandled. That they're going to push him here if he eventually comes here, and we haven't heard anything about him recently.
We haven't heard anything, and it's been a while, and there was no 90-day no compete clause because his contract just expired. Yeah. Same thing that you've got with Bobby Lashley and MVP and all these guys. Their contracts just expired, so there's nothing to hold them back from going to work.
Jinder Mahal could be one that shows up here.
Jinder Mahal would be a cool one. I keep saying this because I don't really know what his contract status is. But
No, that's not it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I only would think that it would be hilarious if he would it would be epic, and especially over the course of a month, basically. He will have been involved in world title stipulation matches for TNA, NXT, and AEW at that point.
I'm changing my pick. It's Joe Hendry.
It's Joe Hendry.
No,
We believe it's not Joe Hendry. It's not. It should
I'll
be
do
Joe
it.
Hendry.
I'll do it if you do it.
It should be Joe Hendry.
It should be Joe.
I actually keep saying this. I know. I think I've said this to you, and I know I've said it on the show in this past week's episode that I would love to see AEW, since they can't have the working relationship with TNA anymore, them have a more prominent working relationship with some of the bigger name guys for like OVW and the NWA, since those are kind of the only two other big American groups that they've got going, or MLW or something like that. And I would love to see like EC3 get in there or something like that. Like that would be a cool little nod.
I don't think you see OVW because of all their WWE roots. And I know that they're not technically affiliated, but NWA could be really, really cool with you in the EC3 thing. I'd also like to see Mac Cardona show up. He has kind of a relationship and he's kind of a free agent. I think it could happen.
I think that they only won't use him because right now, I know he doesn't have a contract with them, but he is working specifically with TNA.
Sure, but that doesn't mean that he can't come over here. Particularly him. Like I don't think you would ever. I don't think you see Frankie Kazarian come over here. But since Mac Cardona doesn't have a contract, unless they want to give him one, or pay him double what they were offering him here, he has the right to do that.
Tony would never pay someone too much money.
Alberto Del Rio could be cool too. El Patron,
El Patron. There's a lot of people. Don't be surprised if you get a bunch of Mexican or Japanese wrestlers that you've never actually heard of. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe like a Zack Sabre Jr. in this.
Yeah,
especially being in the UK.
Forbidden Door.
I could see that as well. I think that would be a cool one. There's a lot of this. The mystery of the Casino Gauntlet makes it cool. I don't know if I like the Gauntlet as much as I like it where they kind of did it more like a battle royal. I like the battle royal idea for this a little bit better for the mystery.
You know, I disagree. I really like that they do the Gauntlet match because WWE doesn't do this all that often. I know that you get it from time to time, and like if they did like a Royal Rumble, I don't like battle royals. It's just I like the Royal Rumble because the countdown clock, who's going to come out next. But AEW clearly can't do that. WWE has a whole Royal Rumble pay-per-view or PLE, and so you really can't
Get
do
it
that.
right.
So, yeah, exactly. I'm trying to think of like gimmick matches that can really get the crowd into it and pop, and I think the Gauntlet match is one that's a little slept on. I like to see more lumberjack matches as well. But that's just me because I think that's fun when you have those guys around the outside. So I dig this for AEW because obviously the Royal Rumble's better, but this is a good number 2 for them as they are the number 2. Number 2.
Dos.
So we'll move on from the Gauntlet match. We kind of said who we want to be in there. There's names I didn't say because they may come later. But with this one, for the next match we have for the legendary, the prestigious, for the world title, we have Jericho. Hey, listen, you might learn something, Steve. Jericho versus Hook.
Hey, you know what? I will say this about the FTW title. It has been around longer than any of the other titles that will be involved on this show.
It's been around longer than a lot of other titles.
A lot of other titles. We're getting close to the 30-year mark for this belt.
Steven, what do you think?
I don't think there, especially since this is last chance for him. I don't see any world where Hook doesn't win this one.
Okay, so for this match, I have Jericho losing.
I have Hook winning. I have Jericho losing. I think that we might get Taz involvement in this one in some way, shape, or form.
How is he going to stand up?
I don't know. He'll do something. Listen, forklift Tazplex.
Forklift Tazplex. I'm in. If he rolls in, just flips the whole ring.
In a giant orange forklift.
Yes.
Big 13 on the side of it. Be awesome.
Everyone will love that.
Everyone. No one will love it. But
I could see.
oh,
him doing.
Tony will pay for the rights to his ECW music.
Oh, I agree with that.
He'd come out and you'd hear "Survive If I Let You," and like War Machine by Kiss will just start jamming out. He might actually pay for Kiss to play.
I mean, at Wembley, isn't there like an epic Kiss concert from at Wembley? I don't know. What's it called? I could see him getting into like the transmission if he goes near the announcer table, because I feel like Taz could pull that off.
And is it going to be on? And now here's the thing: is it going to be on Jericho, or is he going to throw it on
Big Bill?
Like, I can't reach up there, man. And
I know.
We just said
I was setting you up.
We just said he can't even stand up. How's he gonna?
There's no way.
But he might do it to what's his name, Brian Keith.
Maybe I could see it. I don't think you see Taz get involved. I don't think he's up for it. Not talking smack. I don't want to see Taz get hurt. I don't want to see him tear 2 quads and try to.
He's not Vince McMahon.
What I mean, like things like that happen, particularly when you have no business doing that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's fair, but forklift Tazplex.
I think we've already spent enough time on this. I've learned enough.
Fair.
For the next one, we have for the TNT title, because now we're going to get into the title run. In a coffin match, we have Jack Perry.
Actually, every other match on this card will be for a title.
Yep, this is the title gauntlet. The Jack Perry versus Darby Allin, a coffin match. What are you thinking here, Steven? I think this is one of the hardest ones.
This is actually my hardest pick. Actually, the 2 involving the Elite are my 2 hardest picks. Truthfully.
Yeah, I got thoughts on that one too. Let's check it.
I actually think Jack Perry retains.
Perry retains. Do I want to go against you? So I'm on the fence here. So fun fact: Darby Allin's never lost a coffin match, or at least that made it.
Yeah.
So I really could see Darby Allin winning this belt. And honestly, I think the redesign of the TNT title actually feels more like they made it for Darby Allin rather than Jack Perry. So I think, do you know what? I'm going to give you a chance here, Steven. I'm going to go against you in what I think is the hardest one for maybe no other reason, but it's the hardest match and each of us should pick one. So I'm going to go with Darby here.
This one's just really hard for a lot of reasons. I'm not sure what route they're taking with the Elite right now. I know they just did stuff with Okada where he finally defended the Continental title and he held on to it.
How in the world is Okada not on this card?
Why wasn't this Continental Championship against Claudio set up for this match? Or for this show?
The $15 million man. Like, if you had to pay him per match, how much do you think he's getting paid per match?
He's at like a couple. This isn't the first time a Japanese wrestler has said this. They said it with Riho because of the amount of times that like she had to she couldn't come over because of like work visa issues and stuff like that. But like if you like look at her contract compared to how many times she actually wrestled, it was something where she said she got paid like I don't know $100,000 a match.
Because like essentially he's making $5 million this year essentially because he got like $15 million every 3 years, and he's wrestled 5 times.
Yep.
I mean, it's a shot in the dark, but I haven't seen him wrestle that much.
And nothing overly like impressive. Like he was in the Blood and Guts match, and he had the match with Pac, and like
he had the Forbidden Door match as well.
Was that him? I thought that was him and Pac.
No, the Forbidden Door one was against the Acclaimed and the guy who ran New Japan.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yeah, that's right. The ace, the acclaimed ace, or scissor ace, and then
Scissor Ace, yes.
scissor ace versus, that's right. But realistically, he hasn't done anything like the money that they're paying Osprey is fully worth it.
He definitely is getting substantially less per match.
And he's wrestling. I mean,
To
this
me,
and
he's wrestled almost every single show.
For a guy that only shows up for one show a week, he's still kind of doing more than Okada is.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, I'm surprised that he's not on the show. He's the biggest name in recent Japanese history, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have him on your biggest show.
He's part of the Elite. This is their biggest show of the year. I don't get it. I don't see why he wouldn't be here. Unless he shows up in the gauntlet match, but like that even feels a little off. Like you'd have a
That's
champion enter the gauntlet match.
that seems weak sauce.
Well, to be fair, like isn't Darby Allin the number one contender for the TNT title and the world title at the exact same time?
Yes.
So like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
crazier things happened.
This is
But here
AEW. There's a lot of crazier things that have happened.
where the rules don't matter and where the points don't matter, and we do whatever we want. So
It's like the
you know,
goddamn Savannah Bananas.
yeah, it's exactly that. I'm looking forward to this match. Like I'm not usually, I feel like I'm not the biggest Darby fan or the biggest Jack Perry fan, but these guys have been building a pretty good feud for a while. Like I hope Jack Perry doesn't get set on fire for a third time. But at the end of
I
the
also
day,
hope that Darby doesn't get set on fire at this point.
oh, whoever goes into this casket, the casket's getting set on fire.
Oh yeah, I mean,
That's
yes.
totally. But hopefully it won't be.
I'd like to see one of these guys finally come out of one of these matches a little unscathed. Like,
Yeah, please no super kicks with Reebok pumps and
with thumbtacks on them, while hanging upside down for like 10 minutes, letting the blood rush to their brain.
So like I'm assuming that this is going to go full hardcore silly match because it's a casket. Casket match shouldn't do that. The casket should be the
That's the gimmick.
centerpiece of this match. Like that's the gimmick.
That's the gimmick. You
But-
should keep trying to get
but
people
you're
into
gonna-
that casket.
You're going to get tables, maybe Jericho's black bag of tricks. I would
Oh.
like Jericho to teach him something.
Oh, I can tell you exactly. If you want, I'll call the ending to this match. I'll call it right now. Perry's going to be in the coffin. Darby's going to go for a coffin drop off the top into the coffin. Perry's going to move.
He's going to put himself in the coffin.
He's going to put himself in the coffin and he's going to close it. I
see that.
I basically just almost changed your mind just with that because it's so
And then,
believable.
Then it's lit in fire.
And then they'll light it on fire.
Mm-hmm.
With no trapdoor. Like he's just going to let himself burn. Because he's an insane asshole.
He is. It's fun. Mister, I'm just gonna buy a bus, but I'm gonna go into a blood and guts match afterwards.
It totally makes sense.
So, but speaking of the Elite, we have the tag team titles on the line next. We have the Young Bucks versus the number one contender because we don't know who our number one contender is anymore, and Shenanigans versus
Shenanigans
versus the Acclaimed and FTR. I'm not sure who wins this match. I guarantee you, and if you let me do this, if I pick who loses this match,
Yes.
because it's the Acclaimed.
You think it's the Acclaimed?
Oh, it's 1000%.
I was almost going to pick the Acclaimed to win this.
What?
Just hear me out. Just because this is one of those out of left field ones where like they might do this curveball to. I will say this: one of the people from the Elite are losing their titles that night. I think.
I can see that.
So
I could. So here's the thing: I could see them both retaining because the Elite does what it wants. I see them both losing it. I could see that 1-1, either one.
I think it's going to go 1-1. Even though I think that Jack Perry is going to win at this point, I could see them going 1-1. I could
Pick the
see
Acclaimed, you coward.
I could see FTR winning this just because they don't know what else to do with their tag team division.
What do you mean? The tag team division is all in this match.
This is the entirety of it.
The entire division.
Not to mention, this is the. I mean, why wouldn't the Young Bucks win? It's only their second title defense ever.
But they've held it for days.
Apparently, there's no such thing as a 30-day contract clause anymore.
That's the Acclaimed, you coward.
I'm going to pick the Acclaimed.
Yes.
I'm going to pick the Acclaimed. It's wrong. I'm actually saying it now. It's going to be wrong.
I just want to pick the Acclaimed. So, I'm going to do 2 points if they win. I'm not picking the winner here. I'm just taking the Acclaimed to lose.
You're on the no pass line?
Yeah, I'm on the no pass line. You double if you pass.
Craps.
Just go for it.
They're literally a 3. The Acclaimed are the 3.
Now you got snake eyes here. You're right. I have a hard time believing both of these guys will lose. And so the reason I picked the Acclaimed to lose is because I think that affects both of them for both FTR and the Young Bucks from taking the pin, so then they can go and have a match at All In. So I think, all out. I think what happens here, so this is the story that's going to end up happening. One of these teams is going to lose this match, obviously. The other 2 are going to have a match at all. So that's how I see this playing out. So I actually think I'm going to go with the Young Bucks here, because I did take Darby to win the previous match, and then FTR probably wins at All Out.
At All Out.
So I'm going to take the Young Bucks. But I much prefer...
And then at the end of this, we're both going to be wrong, and FTR is going to win this.
I'm fine with that. But no, I still am right, because all I really picked was
the Acclaimed to lose.
Yeah, so remember, I'm still right.
Oh, he's right.
This one, I have some interesting theories here. You have Tony Storm versus Mariah May in what I think is the best lead up to the pay-per-view. Still not happy with it because I still want them to be friends, and it makes me sad that they're not together anymore. So I love the two of these two together.
I mean, even Mina Shirakawa said that she doesn't understand why this is happening.
But I know. Oh, I've already went on there. The previous episode, you can see the rant. Why? No, that makes sense.
They just triple kissed like 8 weeks ago.
Unless Mariah was just trying to get the booty call there. I can see that.
I mean,
that's the only thing that makes sense in the story.
There's a lot of booty involved in this.
So here you go, Steven. I'm gonna go first this time because I think Mariah May wins this. And I think Mariah May wins this very specifically. I think Luther double crosses Storm.
So I'm not gonna lie, I want to go against you on this, and I only want to go against you on this for one very specific reason. If Toni Storm loses again, or loses this year, that'll be 2 years in a row that she's lost at Wembley.
Okay.
She's not Dominic Mysterio, man. I feel like they might almost give her this one.
But Dominic Mysterio doesn't win
ever. I do think it's going to be Mariah May. I think that Toni Storm's time as champion is up too. And I'm not saying I don't like her as champion. I'm just saying that I think we've kind of hit the crescendo of her title run right now. And she kind of what I said about Jericho, that even though it's never going to happen, I think Toni Storm needs to go away for a couple weeks and not be involved so heavily so that we can kind of miss her a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if she's not involved at All Out, that we get this match, that Mariah wins it, and then Mariah might not even have a match at All Out, but I wouldn't be surprised if she wins it and Tony Storm's just gone for a minute.
Couldn't disagree more. I don't think that well, I agree with some of those things. So I went a little too hard there, sorry, Stephen. But I don't think we need Tony Storm to go away. I think she's still so over. I love her match. Her matches are consistently my favorite match on all the pay-per-views. After I just said at the beginning of this show that I think this card looks awesome, and like she is consistently my favorite.
I still think this might be my favorite match on the card. I mean, there's some good ones.
Versus Ospreay probably.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's going to be the show stealer match.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be my favorite match, which is hugely different. Like, there's going to be the match. I think MJF Will Ospreay is probably going to steal the show, although Swerve and Danielson is also going to be a banger. What I'm going to say is, from my point of view, what I enjoy watching in a wrestling match, I think this might have it all.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I love the idea of this match, and
I love the story. I love the psychology of this match. I love everything that they're doing. I love how they're making it personal. I said this week on the show that it's like two different types of crazy. It's the way I compared it was I compared it to two different actors playing the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Was Tony Storm is the Jack Nicholson Joker. She's kind of just crazy and out there, and like you don't know exactly what she's gonna do. Where Mariah May is the Heath Ledger angry crazy. Like she's crazy, but like her laughter even has like a sense of anger to it. So I think it's I'm looking forward to this match. This is actually the match I'm probably looking forward to the most.
Are you saying that neither of them are Jared Leto Joker?
I don't think either one of them are Jared Leto Joker, although I did say Tony Storm might be Cesar Romero. But with less facial hair.
I really want to see Luther double cross, and then I think you actually get
double cross Tony Storm.
That's what I meant to say. And then you kind of have I could see Tony Storm going away for just a minute, and then coming back, maybe a little bit different. The timeless Tony Storm gimmick I still think plays. It's not overdone, but I can see them doing something here to kind of switch her up, make her a bit more not vicious, but like broken, and then like trying to put the shit like she could be shattered Tony Storm. Nothing like broken Matt Hardy, nothing like that. But
no, but I mean, Shattered Tony Storm teams up with Dustin Rhodes, the former Goldust from Shattered Dreams Productions.
It'd be cool, and like you could like have like the broken glass, like the broken mirror as like a big like iconic image. I just think it's cool. I want to write for Tony Storm. She is so good that's the person I love her story. But before I try to steal myself, we had what is going to be one of the most ridiculous matches of the night. 12 men in a ring with a ladder. Because why not? For the trios title.
Is it a ladder match? I didn't even realize that it's a ladder match.
Oh, I could be mistaken, but I was pretty sure it was a ladder match.
Oh, I thought it was just a 4-way match.
Well, I'm gonna read it off, and you can double check my math on that one. But you have the patriarchy.
I mean, you still have 12 guys.
Yeah, you still have 12 guys, but you have the patriarchy, the Bang Bang Gang, the House of Black, and the winners of the Cardiff Collision Wild Card. So, do we know who's in that match yet?
We don't even know who's in the match. It's
I know who's in that match. I know who's in it. It's gonna be.
Is it Waluigi?
No, it might be. I don't think he fits the mold for the group. Let's say. The Hurt Syndicate.
The Hurt Syndicate,
Hmm.
formerly the Hurt Business,
The
the
Hurt Syndicate.
the Pain Corporation, if you will.
So the Hurt Syndicate just copyrighted that name. Um, so now the business is the Hurt Syndicate. I think you get some form of Bobby Lashley, MVP, and potentially Shelton Benjamin coming in for this match. And if it is that trio, I might do the C again here, Steven. If it's the Hurt Syndicate, I pick them to win this. And that's, as you asked earlier, what do you do with Bobby Lashley? You throw him in a group and just throw a title on him.
I mean, that's exactly what this is, a ladder match, and it's going to be ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
And ridiculous because you have 12 guys plus Nick Wayne's mom, which, why does Nick Wayne always make boo-boo face? He's always, it's Magnum, Blue Steel.
Blue Steel, Ferrari, Tigra, it's all one look. Like I'm taking crazy pills.
We keep making this reference, but he's making that face. Can we change this from the Trios title match to the Jamokin title match? Because there's going to be some Jamokin in this match.
There's going to be some Jamokin going.
So much Jamokin.
There's just so many people. Can't they all just fight the whole time? Like, you don't need to see it happen.
You're a Jamoke. You're a Jamoke. You get a Jamoke. You get a ham.
What do you think, Steven? Who do you think takes this one down?
I think I'm going to agree with you. If it is the surprise entry of a Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin, I'm going to go with them. I think that's the perfect way to seem like you're pushing them without actually. And kind of part of my issue with this has been guys that are MVP and Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley's size. It's hard to pair them up with the rest of AEW just in general. This is one of the few times you have a bunch of people in this match that are actually size worthy of them, because you have like Brody King for the House of Black, who's a big dude. Christian looks like he can still pair up with these guys. You have Luchasaurus, who is a big dude. If they are in this match, I am going with them. If they are not in this match, if they are not involved in this whatsoever, I think I'm sticking with the patriarchy.
Okay. That's an interesting pick. So I also think this one is a tough one to figure out. The reason why I don't think the patriarchy wins, which I'm not saying, I actually don't know what I'm going to talk this out, is because the Bang Bang Gang didn't actually lose these titles, right?
No, they got stripped, and then they got stripped for what appeared to be no reason, and then they made them wrestle the patriarchy the next week for the vacant titles. And truthfully, this just seemed like a way for them to separate the titles and get the 6-man tag team titles back to Ring of Honor. I'm not going to lie, part of what I want in this is I want the House of Black to win this.
I want the House of Black to win this match.
I don't think they're going to, though.
Yeah.
I don't think. I just think we're at a point now where the House of Black, Malachi Black, and Buddy Matthews specifically are just at this point. And again, I don't know what Brody King thinks, feels. I don't know what any of these guys think or feel realistically, but it's very much that they constantly have this stop and go with these guys, and they have no real momentum for anyone involved in this match other than the patriarchy.
So which is almost the argument of why they would win this match, because they don't do it. I think the House of Black completely got derailed by Copeland getting hurt. I think that their whole storyline was surrounding Edge, and they needed to do. And then after he got hurt in that freak accident, because who could have ever expected a 50-year-old to get hurt jumping off the top of a cage? But exactly so that in my mind,
He's 52, by the way.
Yeah, tomato tomato. So I kind of want to say House of Black here. I can see everybody going. I'm gonna. Can't we just let them go to WWE? I think the House of Black would be much better in WWE.
I think the House of Black would be better in the WWE. I think this, if Buddy Matthews went back to WWE, this run would be much better for him.
It'd be he can definitely ride off of Rhea's coattails.
Well, and not just that, but you've got Triple H there doing this stuff with him where he can book him as this talent that we don't know. That his whole thing in WWE, kind of how he came along as a singles guy, was he was supposed to be this. His whole gimmick was he's the best kept secret. When they were doing the cruiserweight division, the reason how he got all cut up was he was trying to drop weight to get down into the cruiserweight division.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the best kept secret in the cruiserweight division. And then he was the best kept secret in WWE. And then they teamed him up with Seth Rollins, and he was doing stuff with Rollins. And a lot of the stuff, the only issue I ever had with them teaming him up with Rollins was they changed his gear. And if you look, Buddy Matthews has some of the coolest gear you'll ever see. They're shorts that are loose on the outside of it, but they're torn the right way. And it just looks really cool. It fits him perfectly. It's one of those where it's a very original set of gear. And I've always liked Matthews. I like Malachi Black as well. Honestly, the only member of the House of Black that I kind of could care less about is Brody King. And it's not that I don't like him. Yes, what you said.
I mean, if you could care less, then there's room to care less. And that statement doesn't make much sense.
The Bang Bang Gang, again, all these guys, except for the Patriarchy, it's been so just stop and go traffic for them.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to take the Patriarchy as my second pick there because they just gave them the titles, and I know that AEW is not going to do what I want them to do.
Which is put on House of Black.
It's put on House of Black. You talked me out of it because it's in my mind, the right move for them. At least give them something to do here. And I don't think they'll do that. So let's go Patriarchy.
And for some reason, they can't get off of Christian. I'm not saying they should. I'm saying Christian's doing great work, but they just can't get. Tony Khan is all about Christian.
I can't quit you.
It's literally the Christian and Jericho tag team from 20 years ago is their hot button for some reason.
I think they should unite the Learning Tree Patriarchy.
The Patriarchy tree?
Treearchy?
The Learning Treearchy?
Learning Patriarchy?
There's no good way of doing this.
Patriarchy. I like that. I'll stop it. The TBS title. The TBS title is being defended by Mercedes Moné. You want to do it, Steven?
CEO.
Versus Britt Baker.
DMD.
I know who I think is going to win this match, but I could see an argument either way. I'm not going to change my pick at this point in time, but Steven, who you got?
This is another hard one, actually.
This is one of those shows that there's quite a few up in the air.
I'm going with. I don't know why I want to keep saying this, and I feel like it might almost be wrong. I'm going with Mercedes.
Yeah, no, that's who I had the whole time as well.
I have Mercedes. I think it's funny. They're doing the same thing with Mercedes Moné that they were doing with Britt Baker years ago, where they keep bringing these people in to to make Mercedes Moné a legitimate threat and make
Mhm.
her like they bring in this top talent and bill them as this top talent, like they've won world titles everywhere, and then they bring them in and let years ago they were doing it with Britt Baker when she was the AEW Women's Champion. They would bring in these people and then just let Britt Baker smash them.
I
Where
don't.
I think in this case they're gonna let Mercedes go on a lengthy title run with this and make her be the face of their women's division, even though she's technically holding the number 2 title.
I hate how the TBS title feels like a bigger title than the women's title. It makes no sense whatsoever.
That's like saying the TNT title is a bigger title than the AEW World title.
Yeah. Like what the what? So the thing is, Britt Baker being down for as long as she had been, I think there's a chance that she wins this match.
I think the same thing, and
But
it's the
I'm
biggest show.
yeah, I'm with you. I think Monet is like just the beginning of the whole here. Honestly, I think the one that dethrones her is going to end up being a boomeranging Willow.
I could see that. I think no matter what, whoever does eventually dethrone Mercedes, it's going to be someone who's super, super hot, or like someone coming off of some type of major, major run or something like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was Willow. I wouldn't be surprised if I also wouldn't be surprised if it's just one of Tony's action figures.
Yeah.
He gets whoever the hot female Japanese wrestler is at the time and throws them in there. Is Asuka off her contract yet? Because I could see that.
No, Asuka. Oh, maybe in a year or so.
Yeah.
She's still pretty locked in. But I think Monet wins this. I think that there's not that there's no way, but I think she's definitely the favorite in this match. Next, for the American title,
America.
you have MJF versus Sir William Ospreay.
The Billy Goat, if you will.
And I don't know if anyone has seen, but some other kind of podcasts and YouTube channels have had MJF all over it, particularly if they happen to be British. And it is hysterical. He's just over there chomping these guys. I wish we would have tried to get him on this because I feel like the way he's working right now, we might have been able to get him on the show. Just my estimate.
Maybe.
Like, hey, come on, make fun of Steve. That'd be great. Everyone
Do
wants
it.
to make fun of Steve. Come on.
Eh.
You won't do it. Come on, MJF. You won't come on the show.
No balls.
I just I feel like that would work for him. So MJF versus Will Ospreay. In my mind, might be the easiest match to pick. So it means I'll probably be completely wrong, but I'm going Will Ospreay to win at home.
I'm going Will Ospreay win at home. This turns this back into the international title. I don't think that again, if that American Championship, which I do love the look of the belt overall, but if it didn't have things on its side plates that were like jokes, I could see this. I could see MJF still winning this. But the fact that the title is, and I could almost see Ospreay winning this and MJF still holding, like walking around with the American Championship. And
I want to see Will Ospreay hold both titles. Would that make him world champion if he was the
American and the international champion?
Like that would make him the world champion essentially, right? That's how that would work. 1 + 1 =
Do they maybe like change the name of it, like it's the international and the domestic championship?
They might maybe just double up.
Just
I'm really excited about this match. I think there's no way that Will Ospreay loses. I think that they have another rematch in All Out.
No, they can't have the other rematch in All Out.
No, you're right. You're right.
Whoever wins this gets Pac.
Okay, fine. They'll get a third.
I think they'll get a third match. I wouldn't be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if they get a rubber match in on like a Fight for the Fallen Dynamite or whatever they have, or the Fighter Fest or whatever they call them. They have all these weird names for dynamites. They're just dynamites, by the way. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do one of those. I could also see MJF immediately transitioning from this and going right after whoever the world champion is after this show.
Well, isn't what's it called? Isn't Darby Allin the world champion and the Casino Gauntlet winner is going to be the world champion? Does MJF win the Casino Gauntlet and then later on defend his title against the Wall Street? It's a very MJF thing to do.
Is very, or they open the match with they open the show with MJF and Will Ospreay. Ospreay wins, and then MJF puts himself into the gauntlet.
That's a real possibility.
That I could see that, and if that is the case, can I put my possible winner as MJF for the gauntlet? No, I'm sticking with Paige, but just so that we have it on the record, this is being recorded. If somehow MJF ends up in that gauntlet, he's winning it.
Denied. For the AEW World Championship, we have the champion, Swerve Strickland, versus the American Dragon in London. Sounds like a bad 80s movie. Brian
I think I own that on DVD.
It might.
They didn't make it on Blu-ray.
No, it was a cassette tape from the bin. We have Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson for the world title. Steven, what are you thinking for this main event?
So, first of all, I think this is going to be an awesome match.
Agreed.
I don't see a world where this match isn't just they don't just destroy each other.
Uh-huh.
They have turned Swerve very, very heel over the last few weeks with this. Mm-hmm. He's not just in this area of gray anymore. Now he is cutting promos that he's saying he's going to cripple Danielson. He is saying how he's going to do it in front of his daughter, who's going to be sitting in the front row. The match he had this past week or 2 weeks ago, with Wheeler Yuta, he knocked him out. He didn't just pin him, and he hit him with 3 of those jumping kicks, and then gave him the face stomps like Danielson does, and then ground and pounded him until the ref stopped it. And then when Danielson came in to help Wheeler Yuta, made it seem like he was going to run away, and then came back out and hit Danielson with that kick again. This is all actual heel behavior. And which is funny because this is all the stuff that got him cheered originally.
Uh-huh.
The difference is this is Bryan Danielson.
Uh-huh.
People don't boo Bryan Danielson. When you do it to Hangman Page, who's about as vanilla as it gets, you can get fans who are just happy that you're doing something cool with this guy. I'm going to say Danielson's going to win it. I think Danielson's winning this. I think he needs to hang his hat on the fact that he's held the AEW world title, that he's held the WWE world title, and that he's held the Ring of Honor world title, along with however many other championships he's held throughout his career.
Yeah, but Steven, I also said it's really hoping that this would be different. Thought he would Swerve. It's annoying, but I have a very different. A lot of things you said rang true. It's more and more than it's true. Because they like to do this thing with Swerve and
depending on what week it is, depending on what hour of the clock strike you get.
I absolutely. They were doing it with Tony Storm for a while too, until they kind of committed a bit for her to be face. I absolutely hate it. It drives me nuts. There's no continuity, whatever. But they're gonna need to turn him face so he can face the next heel after Bryan Danielson. And the best way for them to do it is Bryan Danielson go heel. He's going to win this match with the Tiger Driver.
You think he's going to win this match with the Tiger Driver? Tiger style. I don't think he's winning it with the Tiger Driver.
I think he's still going to go heel. I think that's all. He's going to go heel in this match. It's just going to lie.
So, to kind of bring up what you were saying, though, about like us not having Okada on this show, Bryan Danielson is the only member of the Blackpool Combat Club on this show as well.
But the difference there is
we haven't seen Mox in a minute.
We haven't seen him since. I don't know if we've seen him on anything other than Forbidden Door.
I think Forbidden Door was the last thing we saw when he lost to when he lost the IWGP title. But
Moxley and Claudio, in my mind, are easy participants in the Casino Gauntlet. Like, unlike Okada, it makes no sense for him to be there. I think this one works.
I agree. I think that would be good. I'm still excited for this show. There's just things about this show that confuse me. We have on the main show, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 matches, 8 of them for titles, 1 of them for a number 1 contender for a title.
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure I threw that out there.
Uh-huh.
How is a company that's only 5 years old have 9 titles that they can put on a pay-per-view? And not all their titles are being defended.
Because Tony Khan says my life. I do what I want.
I do what I want. He, not to mention, we say all the time he likes to collect his action figures. I mean, what's the point of having action figures if you don't have accessories?
Same. So, folks, those are our picks for All In. Do us a favor. Like and subscribe below.
Let us know. Let us know what your picks are. Tell us. Tell us why we're right.
Why Steven is so wrong on everything he does.
First wrong choice I made was to ask you to be my co-host.
I'm all you got, bud.
It is true. Everyone else is abandoning. They were like, you're doing a really good job. Deuces.
Thank you for playing along with us, guys. We really appreciate all your support. Thanks for joining us again. Please write down below what your picks are. We really want to see how you might differ from us, and kind of go from there. So
exactly. If not with comments, check us out on our social media accounts. You can let us know on those. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok. Let us know, tag us and stuff. Let it, involve us with everything that you want to do with wrestling, and we'll absolutely get back to you. At this point, we don't have that much of lives.
Speak for yourself. You see me in the penthouse here?
Penthouse. That's why he has half naked women playing chess. It's classy.
That's what that is. Super classy.
Classy.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time, or we'll see you another time.
And always remember, tuck your chin when you bump, guys.